everybody, and welcome into another exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. I'm Kendall Smith, joined alongside of Juju McDowell. I'm sure all of you know who he is. He's a running back for the University of South Carolina football team. Juju, it is great to have you on. I'm so excited for this interview. So how have you been doing, and how has this spring been treating you so far?
Hey, thanks for having me. I've been doing pretty well. This spring's been going amazing, actually, as far as academics and, of course, on the athletic side. Coach Beamer, they've assembled a terrific plan for us, and we've just been following it and doing as much as possible to help the team.
Well, before we get into this spring and everything with the upcoming season, I want to take it back to last season. Your first season as a South Carolina Gamecock, you finished the season with 2 touchdowns, including a big one at the Duke's Mayo Bowl to cap off the year. So looking back on last season, Juju, how would you evaluate your performance?
I would evaluate my performance, I wouldn't say I did terrible, but I know there's a lot more areas where I could improve. Um, I see last year as a stepping stone as far as my career because it wasn't as high statistically as I was hoping. Although having older guys in the running back room with me, it allowed me to have time to sit back and experience what it's like to actually be a part of an SEC football team. So that helped me greatly and just gave me a year under my wing, to just kind of relax and understand the philosophy of the game.
So thinking back to last year, do you have any favorite memories that come to mind when you think about the season?
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite moment probably had to be the first game, ECU. Like that's my first. Well, not the first game, but like the first triumphy type game where we kind of faced trouble and adversity. I felt like that was the point in the season where we determined who we were as a team and we determined who we were as a facility and the bond that we have. And that moment is just unforgettable, because we went through a lot that game, ups and downs, and people didn't really expect us to succeed very much. And, we kind of proved everybody wrong.
Yeah, and I think that was the theme of the entire season. I mean, you think back to last summer and people saying, oh, South Carolina might win 2 or 3 games. And South
Yeah.
Carolina ended up winning 7 games, winning the Duke's Mayo Bowl over UNC, finishing with a winning season. So certainly hoping to carry that momentum, I'm sure, into this year. And as you start spring practice here in a week, tell me what it's been like so far. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but you've got a couple of transfer running backs that are in the mix now. You're getting some new freshmen this summer. So what's it been like competing with this new group of running backs in the room?
It's been great actually. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of competition, especially playing under Coach Shane Beamer. But yeah, it's been a great competition. Coach Monterio Hardesty, he keeps us fighting in the backfield every day. Like nobody right now, nobody has a solidified position. Like it's open field, but at the same time, everybody in the backfield group, like we understand what each guy brings to the table, and we also appreciate that. So there's a form of competition, and there's also a form of gratitude, like to keep us honest.
Yeah, for sure. And we talk about those transfer running backs, but also a transfer quarterback in Spencer
Yeah.
Rattler. What has it been like so far getting to hang out with him and play with him?
It's been amazing. Like I know from the outside, a lot of people get this certain perspective or they build a certain persona about Spencer, as far as his attitude and things like that. But a lot of people don't know that Spencer's actually a great guy, once you get to know him. He's heavily family oriented and anything football, anything related to football that could possibly benefit the team, he's all for it. He's much of a team guy, and I've loved only the past few weeks that I've been with him has been a blessing, and of course on the field, he's a specimen. So I'm glad we have him. He's a great addition to the team.
Some high words of praise about Spencer Rattler from Juju McDowell. I love to hear it, and I'm sure Gamecock fans We'll love to hear it as well. Juju, I want to take it back now to your high school days because you are such a versatile player. You play running back for South Carolina. And in high school, you also played on the defensive side of the ball as well at defensive back. So, first of all, how much do you miss playing on the defensive side of the ball? How much does it help you having been a former defender and now playing, just exclusively on the offensive side of the ball for South Carolina?
First, I mean, I'm really not supposed to be saying this, but I kind of miss playing defense a little bit, coming down and smacking some people in the mouth. But it helped tremendously because in high school, I played defense all 4 of my years as well as offense. So I was always the leader of the defense, and that understand it helped me understand concepts and break down different formations as well as to understand and gather a more physical aspect of running the ball, because playing defense for so long, you learn a lot, you develop different concepts and themes, and now you're elevating your mental aspect, and that allows you to elevate your physical aspect. So at this point, I am at running back, you know, the game is so much slower to me because I've elevated my mind in that area. So it's kind of like it's really like I'm just having fun, and it allows me to elevate my game on offense as well because I know so much about defensive schemes and those sort of things.
You talk about having fun, and I think that's so obvious to anybody that watches you play. You are such a spark plug out there on the field. You've got such a personality, even in practice. You're dancing, you're having a great time. Has it always been that way for you with football, or did you kind of develop into that personality as you got older?
Yeah, it's always it's been something I've been carrying me like my entire life, because like I've always been raised like, if you're not like my family, they've always raised me like to know like it's first nature. Like if you're not having fun or you're not enjoying and participating in what are you doing, then why are you doing it in the first place? Like if you can't pull yourself, if I tell myself I love the game with all my might, then I should be able to express that at any given time, and not for like attention or media or anything like that. Like it's just natural. Like I love the game so much I can't help but to get aroused when I step out on the field.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I think you put a smile on everybody's face when you're out there because, like I said, you do just exude this positivity and this joyful attitude to be there. So it's great to watch. But Juju, I gotta ask you about your nickname, Juju, because I read that your first name is actually Caleb. So
Yes,
where did
ma'am.
the name Juju come from?
Okay, so my mother, she got my name out of the Bible.
Okay.
So in the Bible, the warrior Caleb, he derived from the village of Judah,
Okay.
and like the Ju in Judah, it just kind of made Juju.
I love it. I love it. I think it suits you perfectly. It's such a great nickname. How long have you had the nickname for? Like since birth?
I actually had the nickname before, but once I got to high school, me and my grandma, we were conversating because she's a minister, and she developed a deep love for God in me. So one day we were just conversating, and the topic just came up, and we just decided, that would be a much more meaningful connotation for my nickname.
Wow, I think that's such an awesome story. I love it, and I love how it's so heartfelt and means so much to you. And like I said, Juju just fits absolutely perfect.
Thank you.
So you came here last year. You just graduated high school. How much have you seen the program evolve since kind of when you came towards the beginning of Shane Beamer's time here to now, with already a year under Coach Beamer's belt?
Um, our program has had like a major evolution from inside the facility out. Of course, everyone knows about the perspective the outside world had on the South Carolina Gamecocks before the season, and obviously that's changed. But inside the facility, like there's been major differences. Like you can just walk into the facility now and just feel the energy. Like everybody's just so eager, like just to get out there and play for their brother, and walking around the facility. there's not one person that can't go up to any person in the facility and just have a normal conversation. And that's what I love about our organization because it's much bigger than football. Like Coach Beamer and his staff, they've done a terrific job as transforming our organization into a family atmosphere. And I feel like as a player, that's what we're looking for when we come to college and are looking for a next step in our development.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talk about what goes on in that facility, and that brings me to my next question, which is about the cooking demos, because we just saw the chopped cooking demo video on Twitter. A ton of people were loving it. So, have you done any of these cooking demos with the team, and would you consider yourself a good chef?
Yeah, I've done some of the cooking demos. I actually would consider myself a good chef.
Okay. What's your favorite thing to make?
My favorite thing to make, I'm not really sure. My favorite thing to do would probably have to be like any type of meat, like
Okay.
grilling, frying, baking. I just like preparing the meat and cooking it. But yeah, I've been actually trying to cook a little bit all my life, so it's kind of gotten easy like as we started the cooking demos. But yeah, I call myself a little Chef Boyardee.
Ooh, oh, a little nickname there. I love that. And you already have an upper hand on some of the other people because you've been cooking. So everyone watching, not only is Juju a great football player, but he's also quite the chef too. Very, very impressive. And Juju, I know that you don't get a lot of time off. You spend so much time focused on Gamecock football. And when you're not doing football, you're obviously a student as well at South Carolina. So
Yes,
balancing
ma'am.
that. But when you do get time off and you get to relax, maybe hang with your teammates, what are some of your favorite things to do?
Um, it's kind of weird. A lot of people don't know this about me, but they're about to find out. But my favorite hobbies actually are writing poetry, drawing, and listening to music. So whenever I have some downtime, I just, I go in my room, turn on some music, write some poetry, draw a little bit.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. So who do you like to listen to? Like when you're writing your poetry, what music do you have playing?
um, Pretty much anybody. I have a extremely broad area of genre of music. Like it's vast. Like pretty much any genre of music. I know some forms of music, or like if I don't, you could play something and I'll click to it instantly.
Wow, that is so cool. I think that might be one of my favorite answers to a question I've ever asked because that is so neat that you like to write poetry and listen to music and draw, like very artsy and very impressive. I am not good at any of that. So hats off to you for having that talent. Just a multi-talented person. I think that's the theme of this interview. We're finding all this stuff out about you, and you are just extremely talented. So that's awesome. But as you head into next year and you prepare for the 2022 season, what are some goals that you have for yourself on the football field?
Honestly, um, of course, I have personal goals that I would like to set, but honestly, going into this 2022 season, really, the only goals I have completely are just upbringing the best out of myself, um, physically and mentally on the field and off the field, to allow myself to be put in the best successful predicament possible, and doing the same as far as my team. Like coming into this 2022 season, those are my top priorities. I just want to bring out the best upon myself and initiate the best upon my teammates, because I know, like, if I do that between myself, I'll bring out the best in others, and bringing out the best in others will create a revolving door and run it back to me, and now it's spreading across the whole organization. And now we're at the best potential we have as an organization, and that's where we want to be as a team.
That's great to hear. A total team player, as everybody listening can tell right now. Juju, we're doing this interview presented by Garnet Trust, and we all know that the NIL is a big opportunity now for student athletes. So, what does it mean to have an organization like Garnet Trust to be able to do these NIL interviews, and how much do you think it benefits student athletes?
It's amazing, actually. It's a tremendous help because I know I have friends at other schools and universities, and as personal deals, if you're a guy, you get deals. But as far as like an organization that like Garnet Trust, they don't have these type of opportunities. So say Garnet Trust is a tremendous help to our student athletes here because it not only highlights the organization, it highlights every player in the organization. Every player in the organization, every member of the organization is given the opportunity to voice their opinion and be known to the public as far as take advantage of the NIL opportunities. So I really love that Garnet Trust is giving us this opportunity because like I said before, not everyone is blessed with these opportunities. And also it just gives us like a little gray area to connect with our fans.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, like I love it. It's been a help, and I can't wait to do more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know the fans are going to love this interview. They're going to love hearing from you. And before we get out of here and take, we don't want to take too much more of your time up. So I do want to ask, looking back on the last year, if you could describe it in one word, what would it be? And then looking forward to this year, if you could describe your hope for it in one word, what would you pick?
Oh man.
The tough question. And you can do a couple words if you want to. I know it's always hard to pick one.
Um, looking back, looking back at this previous year, honestly, the overall theme I could develop about that season, man, is just life altering. Because like coming in as a freshman, you know, the biggest thing is just football. But last season, my experience here at South Carolina took me extremely past just football. Like it literally altered my life for the better. And I witnessed the same thing with many other athletes. Like this season was much more than football. Like I witnessed multiple guys make a transition from just football players to developing themselves as men in society. So yeah, that has to be my biggest key as far as last year. And coming up to this upcoming year, I just have to say manifestation. That's all, because everything we live through at the facility day in and day out is nothing but manifestation and working towards our goals next year. So that's my biggest key.
Well, those are two awesome words. And Juju, thank you so much for joining us today on this exclusive interview presented by Garnet Trust. So much fun. We learned so much about you, and I know that every Gamecock fan is going to love it, and they're so excited to see this upcoming.
Thank you all for having me so much.
Yeah, of course. Good luck this spring, and we'll definitely keep everyone updated on what's going on and hopefully see you back soon on a Garnet Trust interview.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.